Hey, what's up, everyone? How's everybody doing? Hope you guys are doing awesome on this wonderful Wednesday. It is July 10th. So hope you guys are all doing great. Um, Give it a few minutes to get out there, and hopefully some of you guys will jump on this little live I'm doing here today. I'm actually not in the classroom today, which is kind of awkward. Not doing anything where I'm learning something new, new techniques or anything that I can help you guys with. It's more of it's a rest day today, I guess you could call it. So I really appreciate you guys being on here today. If you guys have any comments or anything, drop them in there. Today's just kind of like a little Q&A, and then also just wanted to kind of share with you guys some of the events that are coming up for a lot of different regions and areas. So, so good evening, sir. How are you? It's nice and hot here in Southern California. It was 107 today. I think right now it's a little bit under 100 degrees. So it's nice and hot out here today. And I just want to come on here. If you guys follow me on social media, you guys know that tomorrow I'll be hosting two free webinars. One of them is going to be a how to read wiring diagrams in English. That starts at 5 p.m. California time. And then a Spanish version at 6:10 p.m. California time. So if you guys know anybody or want to brush up a little bit on wiring diagram knowledge, make sure you guys sign up. If you guys want the link for that, I can definitely put that on here. That's going to be a good one. Mr. Colonel Buckshot, could you please do a detailed video on diag direct fuel injection, high pressure side and low pressure side, English, please? Yes, sir. I'm not sure if you were the one who put a comment on the PO420 video, but it's already in my notes to do. I was going to focus primarily on the high pressure side because that's usually where most of the technicians feel a little bit more intimidated because we're not used to, a low pressure side, 70, 80 PSI, and then converting it up to 3,500, 4,000 PSI. So I am putting something together for you guys. The one vehicle that I'm using right now for testing would be a Kia Optima. And then, I'll be putting that together for you guys. I'll let you guys know once that's ready. That's going to take me a little bit longer than the traditional videos that I put out for you guys. I am working on another video that fingers crossed by Friday I should have that posted for you guys. It's a pretty good video. It's more live data related. I feel that a lot of technicians kind of underestimate the value of looking at live data, which is one of the reasons why I'm working on that. And the 3-phase fuel pump, I actually talk about that in my one of my drivability classes that I already have online. Certain things, I'll let you guys know. Certain things, obviously, I don't post on YouTube. Some certain things we hold for our paid classes. So if you guys go to masterautomotivetraining.podia.com, you guys can see some of our paid training. Those classes usually range between $100 and $200, but you can join our online community, and then it costs you about $20 a month, and you get unlimited access to those. Plus, you get instant access to us as well. So certain things, some of the more advanced stuff I put in there, and some of the basic stuff that I know will definitely help you guys is what we usually put on the YouTube channel, or stuff that you guys see. Car comes into the shop and it was one of those that kind of kicked our butt. So then we'll record it and we'll put it up there for you guys. So we really appreciate all the support from you guys. You guys are awesome. If it wasn't for you guys, then we would have stopped this a long time ago. But you guys keep us going with comments like Colonel. That kind of stuff kind of helps us know what you guys need help with. And unfortunately, in this industry, a lot of guys have a big ego. A lot bigger than their toolboxes, and because of that, they tend to not want to learn more or say I know it all, And if you ever say that, in my opinion, you know, you should roll your toolbox out and find another career, because at that point, you've given up, right? Everything keeps changing at such a fast pace, so we need to make sure that um, that you stay on top of it, right? My 94 Jeep is going to be one of those butt kickers. Oh, cool, man. Yeah, I can't. I heard the office told me that you called in on it. So once it comes in, it's more than likely going to end up on YouTube. And those are actually some of the easier ones that we could do when it comes to emission diagnosing. It's one of the easy stuff we do. You know, and it's sad because coming from the state of California, we are an emission state. There's so many technicians out there that have no clue on how to diagnose an emission fault, and we see that quite often. So when we see stuff like that, we'll make a video on it. So you'll probably be seeing it on YouTube there pretty quickly. Video showing diag on VVT system and failures. I haven't had any. So typically when a car comes in and it has a VVT fault, or excuse me, if a car comes in and it has a fault, like a VVT issue, then normally that's when we pick up the camera and kind of do a recording on it. However, we haven't had any. We've had a bunch of them with stretch change recently. So we kind of get waves. Right now, our common wave is misfires and drivability concerns that are related to stretch change for some weird reason. I think with today, the BMW we diagnosed, we're like on 7 within like the last month or so. So we haven't had any VVT faults. However, we could definitely do some training videos for you on VVT. Excuse me. No, damn it. I had a soda earlier. And that'll definitely help you guys with understanding it. So one thing that I always talk about is it's always better to understand the system and its normal operating configuration, because if you know what good is, you're going to spot bad right off the bat. So this is why it's important to know how the system works, particularly when it's in good shape. So this way you can pinpoint it when it's out of shape, right? Tell me about S3V, man. When you bring that truck in, we'll do everything we possibly can to evaluate it, run some tests for you, and then let you know where you're at and what we got to do for it. We had one not too long ago. It was an El Camino. Came from 2 other shops. Nobody could figure it out, and we got that one going. So we're all good. No, we actually work on everything, not just Euro. We do Euros here and there. We're more expensive than the dealer when it comes to Euro, but the probability of us actually finding the fault is a lot higher than the dealer. So we don't really work on many. They just picked up a Murcielago we were working on today, an M4 that we were working on. So we do them here and there, but mainly more American domestic that we work on. But if you understand pretty much how a system works, they're relatively the same. You know, when I teach my drivability class, I always talk about that the GDI or direct fuel injection system, they're made by Bosch. So Bosch is probably the highest provider of the GDI system. It's just every manufacturer puts a different name on it. So if you understand how Bosch's system works, it pretty much works the same with every manufacturer, right? So it's one of those concepts that, you know, you can put into play when it comes time to diag. Much appreciated. I've been at it for years and years. We'll get you taken care of, bro. I do apologize for, you know, some of our other colleagues who really don't care too much about training, and that's what really makes this industry suffer. You know, the guys who don't want to train think that, you know, they learned from a mechanic 30 years ago that nothing has changed. Obviously, there's some things that have not, like the 4 strokes of a 4-stroke engine are almost the same, but they're not 100% the same. So outside of that, you know, things evolve, things update, and if you're not updating and evolving with those things, you're going to fall behind, and then that's when stuff starts falling into the bad side, and then that's when you start screwing up. Is a cam lobe wear on a DDI mostly caused by wrong oil, dirty oil, lack of lubrication? So usually when you start wearing the cam, that's due to lack of lubrication. What ends up happening is Not sure if you guys are doing this. If you guys are at a shop, make sure that you guys are letting your customers know that they need a 1,000-mile top off. So if you guys read the owner's manual on any new car, due to soft piston rings, these vehicles are burning oil. So you need to let your customer know that for every 1,000 miles they drive, they need to add 1 quart of oil. Either come by the shop so you guys could top it off, or they do it themselves. By the time you get to that 4,000-mile oil change interval, which, by the way, you guys should be recommending 4,000-mile oil change intervals. Screw this bullshit of 10,000 miles, because by the time they reach 10,000 miles, they're negative 6 quarts of oil. So make sure that you guys are doing your job, your part as a tech, and advising the customer when they need to get stuff done, right? If the customer does it or not, it's up to them. However, you advise them about it. So mostly it's lack of lubrication that we've seen for that. And then that becomes a very expensive repair. Yeah, Colonel, that's right on point. So if you tell them to come by once a month for a top off, and every 5,000, that's not bad. We go by 4,000, and I believe was it BG? I don't want to name drop, but one of the oil manufacturers is saying 4,000 miles, and we're going by that. Obviously the 3,000 mile mark is out the window. We could definitely go 4,000 now, but 5,000, 4,000 or 5,000 should be fine. And as long as they're doing regular top offs, they should be okay. So if you guys are just joining in, this is just a little conversation I figure I'd have today. I'm not in a classroom, I'm not teaching, but when I finish up with you guys, I actually got to go finish writing an outline. If you guys aren't aware, tomorrow I'm going to be doing a free webinar on how to read wiring diagrams. And it's going to be in English and Spanish. English starts at 5 p.m. California time. Spanish is at 6:10 California time. So if you guys want to join in on that, 100% free. And it's going to be about 45 minutes or so, giving you guys some time for some discussion in between, so I can help you guys out with that also. But this is an open forum, man. You guys have any questions, drop them in the comments. You guys have any comments, drop them in there too. Let's have a quick chat. As you guys know, I love this industry. This industry's been awesome to me, and I want to give back as much as I can to this industry. And you guys know our mission at Master Automotive Training is to better the automotive industry one technician at a time. This starts with you. And then I'm also a firm believer in an investment in education pays the best interest. The more you invest in yourself, the more your value goes up. The more your value goes up, the more valuable you are to the marketplace, which means you get paid more, right? And I always make the example of, if you guys ever go to a general physician, your general doctor, right? Who's more expensive, a cardiologist or a general doctor, right? A cardiologist. Why? Because your cardiologist is a specialist, okay? So if you become a specialist or you have a specialty in something, you can always charge more. Let's see. There's some Subarus and Chrysler family engine owners, excessive oil consumption, TSBs as well. Yes, so there is quite a bit of TSBs up there of vehicles that are consuming excessive amount of oil. Also, PCV systems have a lot to do with it. So there's a lot of learning curve, right? Like, how many guys are using a manometer inside of the dipstick to measure crankcase pressure, right? So if you're not, that's a tool you might want to buy and start measuring known good cars. So this way you could have an idea whenever you have a car that might have a PCV system that is excessive, causing excessive vacuum in the crankcase, right? Little things like that. Manny, yes, we do have some virtual classes. If you check us out at Master, let me see if I can put it in here. Excuse my big face, leaning in here real quick. Let me edit this. So if you guys are interested in some of our online classes, you guys can go to the website I'm about to put on the screen here. And again, excuse my thinking face. I'm typing right now with my big old fingers. All right, there you go. Okay. All right, so I don't know if you guys could see it though, but there's a website that I just put up there right now. It's masterautomotivetraining.podia.com, and that's where you guys will be able to check out our online courses. We also have a online community where you guys could join and purchase a membership and then get access to our online classes, unlimited for 19 bucks. Let's see. Manny, hey, New York, man, cool. I haven't been there since last year. I might be going later this year to teach 2 classes for NGK. If I do, just keep an ear open, so that way, if I'm out there, man, we can exchange info, and then I'll stop by your shop and take some pictures, say hello, because I love visiting you guys whenever I'm in your area. It's cool you guys have such a big YouTube presence and sharing knowledge. Thanks, S3V. That's what we all about, man. So if you guys know my story, my mentor, Don Wilson, was kind enough to take 2 years out of his career and show me everything he knew about drivability, diagnostics, and emissions. And the only thing he asked for me was 1, don't give up, and 2, pay it forward. So that's what founded Master Automotive Training. So that's why we believe so strongly in helping you guys, because my mentor did that for me, and I feel that I can do that for you guys also. I'm blessed to say that I've done it internationally. I've trained everywhere from Mexico City, Baja California, and a lot of states here in the U.S. So I'm really blessed to be able to give back to our wonderful industry. And see, I got a Honda Odyssey that blows white smoke during smog, but all compression checks. Okay, so Matthew, on that Honda Odyssey, man, if you're blowing white smoke, that's typically an indication of coolant. What we've been seeing recently is we're seeing a lot of cars that have a blown head gasket, but they're not consuming water in large amounts. Best option is to pull some spark plugs and use a articulating borescope. So that's a camera. You'll feed it through the spark plug hole. Articulating means you could flip it up, and that way you can see the top of the cylinder head and then look for signs of coolant. Also, a block test would be a good idea. And this way, if you have CO2 present in the cooling system, that's a good indication you have a blown head gasket or cracked block. For cars using a standalone PCB, I recommend those every 100,000 miles. Okay, and then if they have a diaphragm style, well, obviously, when it goes out, it's time to replace it. And typically, we recommend replacing the whole valve cover instead of doing the diaphragm replacement. Washington Heights, cool, man. So Manny, I definitely always let you guys know when I'm traveling out. If you guys follow me on social media, you'll be able to see it. So make sure you keep your eyes open. So this way, when I'm traveling, if I'm in your area, just let me know, man. I'll definitely stop by. Like I said, I like to stay up with you guys and meet up with you guys. H-Scope, ¿qué dice, maestro? So those of you guys see the comments, H-Scope user, if you guys want to know a really die-hard scope user, H-Scope user is probably one of the go-to scope guys that I know. So make sure you guys reach out to him, say hello. Colonel, no, I am not on. I'm not part of Trained by Techs. I know many of them, including a good friend of mine, Brandon Steckler. Talk to that guy almost on a weekly basis or more. I know Keith Perkins personally. I've taught with Keith Perkins. He actually taught here at our school. So I do know some of them, but I don't teach with them. Martinez Auto Diag, con gusto. Nos vemos mañana. So again, guys, if you guys are interested in, let me turn on the lights, kind of dark here. Give me a second. So where was I? All right. Again, if you guys aren't aware, tomorrow I'll be doing a free webinar on how to read wiring diagrams, one in English, one in Spanish. I had a lot of requests for it, so that's the reason why I decided to do it. And right now, once we finish up this live, probably like in the next 5 minutes or so. I'm gonna go start prepping for it. So this way we can have a good, successful webinar class tomorrow for you guys. con gusto. Vamos acomodando una para pasarla bien y hacer unas prácticas. So again, guys, thank you guys for being on here. You guys are awesome. I appreciate all the support that you guys give the channel, and always support when you guys give us feedback on what you guys like to know. If you guys know, I try to stay as, what's the word I'm looking for? With consistency with you guys on videos, and then also with the comments. Just sometimes I get overwhelmed with comments, so I don't answer all of them, but I try to answer as many as I can because I know a lot of you guys have some good questions. And it's kind of like being in a classroom. So when I'm teaching and I get a bunch of questions, I'll make sure that I answer those questions. I don't give a shit who gets upset. It's you guys are in a class and you guys want to learn. So I'm definitely going to do whatever I can to help you guys. Good info. Thanks for all the work you do for the automotive repair community. Colonel, you are very welcome, sir. I really appreciate, man, your guys' support more than anything, because if it wasn't for you guys, I would have gave up making videos a long time ago. And if you guys see any of my first videos, you guys see how bad I sucked when it came to videos. But now, I have a lot of fun with it. I really enjoy what I do. I love helping you guys. I love seeing techs get that aha moment when something clicks, and then that's going to help them just elevate their career. I've had the pleasure of teaching at AST, North Carolina, Vision, Kansas City, Auto Mechanica, City of Mexico. So I've taught in a lot of different places, and I can tell you guys that I love it. Love just seeing how you guys come in a little bit scared, nervous, and then by the end of the day, you guys are just freaking killing it. So I really love that, and I enjoy every moment that I get to spend with you guys. And I hope that I can get to spend some more time with you. If you guys see me in an event somewhere, stop me. Don't be afraid to, because I know when I was out in Vision this year, I taught 3 classes in Vision, and some people were kind of like intimidated to stop me. Don't be. If I am with somebody, it's okay. Just come up, say, hey, how's it going? We'll shake your hand. You want to take a picture? Let's take a picture. And typically I carry stickers with me, so I'll hand you a sticker. This way you have one for your toolbox. All right. H-scope user, great way you explain. I appreciate that. So one thing that my mentor always told me is that if you teach something, you want to teach it at a level where somebody can use it, right? And I make a joke when I start a lot of my classes that, I've sat in some classes where I was like, man, that guy's smart. I didn't learn shit, but that guy's a fucking genius, right? And that's not what my goal is. My goal is to give you guys information that's going to help you fix cars, right? If you guys sit in my electrical class, most electrical instructors spend a whole day talking about freaking electrons and nucleuses and valence rings and all this shit. How is that going to help you fix a car, right? So when you guys come to one of my classes, everything I focus on is something that's going to help you fix a car, right? If it doesn't help you fix a car, then I'm not going to teach it to you. Does that make sense? Okay, because like the joke I always say in electrical is you're not going to go up to a customer and say, sir, ma'am, what we found in your car is you have excessive, you have 600 billion electrons that are moving from point A to point B excessively, which is causing your fuse to blow out, right? No, we go to a customer and say, you know what, we tested your vehicle and we found that we have a short circuit and this is what we need to do to repair it. So why the hell am I going to teach you about valence electrons and bonding and all that bullshit? Because it's not going to help you fix a car, right? So that's just my personal opinion. Obviously, there's going to be some instructors that say, oh, no, you got to know about it. It's like, well, I've never had to use that calculation of valence electrons and open rings and all that stuff for molecules joining to fix a car, right? So just my personal perspective on it. Colonel says, keep the videos coming. They don't have to be Hollywood perfect. So when it comes to the videos, like the video that I just did on that 420, I try to make them as clean as possible. There are some screw ups in there. I'm human. I mess up. But if you guys ever sit in one of my live classes, you guys are going to see a whole different side of me. So one of the, probably like the fourth slide that you'll ever see on one of my PowerPoints, it usually says that I say a lot of bad words. And the reason why I put that up there is, one, we got to be real. And two, that's just who I am, right? If you guys have been in an auto repair shop for as long as I have, you know, you typically have a couple different languages you speak. Like I speak English, Spanish, sarcasm, and bad words. So it's okay to do so. And, you know, that's how you guys are going to see the actual difference. I'm a hillbilly from Alabama. You got to keep it simple for me to grasp. Hey, girl, no problem, bud. I'm just a Mexican kid from Southern California, man. So we're on the same page. See, we talk automotive, man. We understand each other. Como dice el dicho, que tiene su carro, pues un billete atorado, ahorita lo encontré. That's right. So there's a saying in Spanish. I don't know if it's going to sound as funny as it is in Spanish, but, you know, when a car shows up to a shop, we always say, you know, there's a dollar bill stuck in there somewhere. It's my job to figure out where it's at, right? So that's where we come in as auto techs. Very true when it comes to electrical. Absolutely. You know, if you guys check out my ASC A6 bootcamp, I think it has like 70,000 views. And then from the 400 some odd comments, everybody on there is basically saying, dude, I passed my A6. Like, you made it so simple. And it mind boggles me when some instructors just try to make shit so complicated. It's like, if you make it complicated, nobody's going to do it. So for me, it's always keep it as simple as possible, because the simpler it is, people are going to do it. Right. And that's what I always tell my students. If I teach you how to do something hard, you're not going to do it. But if I teach you how to do a simple test that can give you the same outcome, you're going to run it, because it's a lot easier to do. Right. That was a good one. 4 languages. Yeah, that's, you know, I always say that I speak English, Spanish, sarcasm, and bad words. Right. You've been in a shop long enough, you probably speak the same languages. I speak English and what the WTF. That's a good one. Oh, man. Yeah, hell yeah. My dad used to say that about Eddie Repair. Absolutely. You know, there's a dollar bill in it. One of my recent mentors, Mr. Jim Morton, makes the comment that, you know, whenever you're diagnosing a car, before you start pulling on a lap scope and an in-cylinder transducer and all that fun stuff, you ask the shop owner for a $20 bill. Walk to the exhaust tailpipe and put it on the tailpipe. You know, that dollar bill is not extended out the whole time. You're going to shove it in your pocket and then write it up for a valve job, right? So cars do have money stuck in them. It's our job to figure out where that money's at so we can pull it out, right? La última vez que escuché esos electronos cuando no sabía ni hablar inglés. Yeah, exactamente, Ramón, exactamente. Gracias porque siempre está impulsado. Ser un mejor. Eso es todo. Keep it up. Keep up those ASCs, guys. I got a pressure transducer. Need to learn how to make money for me. Absolutely. So, touching a little bit here on Colonel, one thing I always say is this: when you guys go buy a new tool, it's not just how much the tool costs. You got to factor in training and learning the tool as part of the purchase, right? So if you go buy a pressure transducer, let's call it a Pico WPS, that's a $1,300 kit. You spend $1,300 on it. That's not it. You still got to get the training for it, and you still got to give up the time to learn how to use it and apply it, right? So when you guys buy new tools, always make sure that you ask yourself, all right, tool's this much. How much am I going to cost to train? And how much is it going to cost me to actually practice it, right? Okay, because we also have to have some sweat equity so we can learn how to do it. Diagnostic technician, and I cuss parts out and swear at them, especially when they're not helping us do our job, right? So yeah, I definitely do the same. And one of my classes, I say that, you know, technicians, we say a 4-letter word, and then I put a ... and then I put help, but in reality, we don't say help. when something goes bad or we can't figure something out. We use a different four-letter word, right? Ramon, eres muy bueno, apenas empecé a seguirte, man. Exactly about the tools. Hey, Ramon, thank you so much for the follow, buddy. I appreciate that. So Ramon saying that he just started following me and he really and he really likes how I teach. Sorry, I had a brain fart. And exactly about the tools. God bought me a Dakota truck for transmission not shifting properly. Checked the trans fluid and found it low. Had been to 2 other shops. Checked the basics first. Colonel, absolutely, man. You'd be surprised, and I talk a lot about this in my electrical class. You'd be surprised how many cars we fixed with a battery. One thing that a lot of guys will do, and actually you see this in my boot camp. Car comes into the shop, nobody bothers to do a voltage drop onto the battery case. It's fucking plastic. There should be no voltage on plastic, right? We just tested one yesterday on a Infinity QX60, I think, and it came in with 2 issues. One was dim lights, and 2 was driver door not locking, right? So it needed an actuator. But the other issue was we did a voltage drop from ground to the battery case. We had 9 volts on the case. It's plastic, right? So we recommended a battery, and the acidity was so bad it had already eaten up the terminal. This is why we always talk about at the shop, we stock 0 gauge wire and terminal ends. We make our own, right? So at that point, we just sold a new terminal, a new battery. Car was tip top. Customer took off today, and it's been so hot here in California. When we test the battery and we see the battery is at its bare minimum, we always make the recommendation to replace it. We tell a customer, look, it's freaking hot. That battery's inside a 200-degree engine compartment. It's going to take a shit on you sooner or later. Might as well get it replaced now, right? Is simple. Yeah, voltage drop. Just do a VD. That's one of. I love voltage drop testing. I teach it for everything, and I teach dynamic testing versus static testing. So voltage drop testing is the way to go. Anytime you guys got to check any type of electrical circuit, you'd be surprised how many cars I fixed tiny battery cables. Yeah, you come in with loose cables, corroded cables. We always clean them out, do a battery service, and some stable in 22, reassemble it and ship it, right? S3V, how it's plastic. So the batteries, what ends up happening is there's composites inside the plastic, and they can only hold the acid back so long. Sooner or later, the battery starts venting. So when a battery charges and discharges, it vents, and then acid starts coming out. So once the acid starts coming out, then it starts coating the outside of the battery, and that acid, just because it's on the outside of the battery, can still go into the actual cells. So then that's what starts creating a voltage on the outside of the case, and then that starts taking away from the actual cells. So that's why it's important to actually do a battery service on your car. We usually recommend it once a year, so this way you can prolong the life of the battery and then also prolong the life of your battery cables. Because if you guys know, some of the newer cars, your battery cables are part of the engine sub-harness. So if you need battery cables, you're replacing a whole sub-harness. That's why we make our own battery cables, because if we give you the option, you want $2,000 sub harness or you want $350 worth of battery cables, right? So we'll just make them, crimp them, install them, and then ship the car. Battery gets checked first before any diag. Bad batteries are same here. So part of our diagnostic, the first thing is check battery, starting, and charging system. We typically use an oscilloscope to do that. If the battery's at 8.5 volts, we're recommending replacement. If a car comes in and static, car key on engine off with no surface charge, battery under 12.4, we will not touch. We either need to charge or replace. That's just our rule here in the shop because of the battery state of charge. I agree with tools. A $500 bat doesn't fix a $1 swing. Absolutely. That is a good one. I'm actually going to screenshot that if you don't mind. If you do see that, bro, on any if you see on any of my future content, I'm going to give you a shout out. That's a good one. Signed up for that class tomorrow. Have L1 scheduled this week again. First time taking it. Ramon Mendita, you'll be good, bro. I just recertified mine. I think I was in and out like 40 minutes, 35 minutes. It was quick. It's not hard whatsoever. Just make sure you familiarize yourself with the composite vehicle, which I'm actually going to do a video on that, on how to go over the composite vehicle and understand the information. Be very confident on reading scan tool data, because you're going to get a lot of screenshots of data PIDs, and then you got to determine what's wrong with the car. So make sure you're comfortable with that. And 5-gas analysis. You're going to get a lot of questions on that. Gotcha. Makes sense. I keep supply of those lead battery thimbles and terminals at one time securely and trying to clamp. Yep. Just make sure, Colonel, you're not using the universal ones. Those suck. Why are some shops against training? So, Nestor, to answer your question, a lot of shops think that, here are a couple of what I hear a lot. One, why am I going to go learn something if I'm not going to get paid more? That's the stupidest thing ever, because you're learning it, not your boss, right? If you leave, that knowledge doesn't stay with your boss, it stays with you, right? So that's an excuse. Second one is, a lot of shops say, I already know it. Like, I had one guy, I was talking to a prospect the other day, Hispanic male, and he said, I've been doing this for 32 years. Why do I need to go to school? That's the reason why you got to go to school. If you've been working on cars for 32 years and you've never bothered to actually learn the fundamentals, that's a problem, right? Okay. I also had another guy that I was speaking to that wanted to take our Spanish electrical class, and he said no, because he's already doing electrical repairs. I said, okay, so how's your comeback rate? He stayed quiet and says, well, you know, we get quite a bit of them that come back. Okay, well, you don't see that as a problem, right? And he really didn't see it as a problem. So that's another reason. And the third one's ego. So most techs think, well, you know, I've been doing this for so long, I know what I'm doing. My power probe has power and ground, and that's about it within the circuit. So it's not 100% true. Sadly, that's why our industry's in a shithole because of that. And then also the last one would be, shops don't know how to charge right. And that's what causes a lot of guys not to want to go to training, because they're going to say, well, dude, you know, if I go to training, go sit there and learn something, you know, the shop's still only charging $45 an hour. So it's like, it's not really going to increase anything. So, you know, those kinds of things are what really screw this industry up. 90% of my diagnostics are caused by bad or failing battery. The first advice I give them when helping someone is, did you check the battery with a carbon file on that cheap $25 tester? So if you guys sit in one of my electrical classes, Baja, I actually test with a scope, not even a carbon pile. Why do I use a scope? Because think about it. If you have an electrical problem, what's connected to the battery when the problem's occurring? The engine, the circuitry, and the car. Why not test the battery using the car in a dynamic function using an oscilloscope, which is the best way to test the battery's ability to start, the starter solenoid, and the charging system all in one test, right? So that's why I always go with an oscilloscope, and that's part of our SOP, or standard operating procedure, here at the shop. I'm taking L1, L4 this month. On L1, because reading and understanding the composite vehicle information. Yeah, be very careful with the composite vehicle info. I need to recertify 12 ASCs this year, and then I'm going for L2, and then hopefully I pass the L4 this time. I tried it just for shits and giggles. Never done ADOS in my life, and I missed it by like 6. So hopefully we get that one this time. And then some things that ego exists in the information technology also. Yeah, sadly, you know, a lot of guys, I don't know, you know, so when I got started in the industry, a lot of the older farts didn't want to teach the newer guy because they thought that you were going to replace them, right? Which we obviously did. On the other hand, you know, I was always told that don't go to school, you can learn it in the shop. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard once I lived it. And the reason why is because when you're in the shop, you're getting taught by somebody that you don't even know if they know what's right or what's wrong, right? So when I started getting mentored by my mentor, I had to forget everything that I was taught to relearn the right way So then this way I can apply it in the shop. So I actually had to take a bunch of steps back to then years later go forward, right? So for me, I'm always going to tell you first, learn the fundamentals in some sort of trade school, not on the job, some sort of trade school or community college, and then move into the shop under some sort of mentorship. That's probably going to be the best way that I would recommend that. Okay. So typically, there's really not a way to convince them. I don't try to convince. One thing that, you know, and we go by this at the shop is once you're talking to somebody and I have to go from educating to convincing, it's over, right? So I'm not going to convince you, because if I have to convince you on Monday, I got to convince you on Tuesday, and then I got to convince you on Wednesday, and I got to convince you on Thursday, and I got to convince you on Friday, and that shit's fucking draining, right? So it's not about convincing, it's about them seeing the value. If they don't see the value, then unfortunately they're an anchor to that shop. If they're a shop owner, if they're a tech, they're an anchor for the shop also. So that's where a lot of shop owners need to be open-minded about, right? I share this a lot too. Like at our shop, we supply all tools. And the reason why is if you're going to work to make me money, why the fuck should you be paying for your tools, right? We hand tools, specialty tools, we pay for all of it. You go take a test, I pay for it. You go get a license, I pay for it. Why? Because it's benefiting the shop. Okay. I don't know if you know, I just learned that you can get an AC renewal app and do this. We'll send one question. Yeah, you could do the app. I just prefer to go take the test. With all the shit I got going on, I'll just take a day out of my life and go sit in front of the computer, take the test, and bounce. Last month, I took my California Class A brake adjuster exam, walked out with a 92. You know, I'd rather just go there, hammer it out, and call it a day. My opinion, most shops rely on. I love that one, blind leading the blind. I was told for years not to pursue AACs. When I finished A139, I was given $10 without asking, did I score that? Did I scare them? Yes. Of course, man. You know, a lot of times most of the guys are going to be afraid. They just say it's a piece of paper, but it does. So this is how I look at AACs. Obviously, some people say AACs are stupid, blah, 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 whatever. I helped write the A1 this past March, and how I look at the ASCs, it's a way for you to know where you're at what level are you in your automotive experience. That's it. It's not to say like, oh, I got an ASC. Who cares? It's for you to know where you're weak at. That's how I look at them, right? If you take an ASC and you suck in one area, but you passed it, now you know where you're weak and what you got to study up. That's it. That's how I look at them. It's a way for me to know where I suck, right? Service department is full of most stubborn people you'll ever meet. Yep. You know, that's why I was very picky when I was picking my team here for the shop. So you got to be very, very, yeah. That's all I could say, man. Learn from my dad, street smart, then went to school, realized that people like my dad can't work in the team and can't properly communicate different terminology and deep understanding. 100%, man. I see that all the time. Oscar got jam. Thanks for the live stream. I'll see you guys soon. Sounds good, brother. Whenever you come on down, man, hopefully we get to see you. And we'll get that Jeep taken care of for you, bro. AACs also only benefit your resume. I mean, if you want to look at it that way, like I said, I use AACs as a way to determine my knowledge base based off of whatever topic I'm taking the exam on. But it's everybody's opinion, right? Everybody's you have the right to that opinion. And you know, people always say, I know a master tech who couldn't turn a fucking wrench. Most of those guys that say they're master techs don't have an ASC, right? I had a guy who sat in one of my classes not too long ago and said he was a master tech. So not to call him out or anything, but in order for me to certify him, because it was a California class, I needed his status letter. He didn't know what that was. So then I told him to log into ASC. He didn't have an account. So most of the guys who tell you I'm an ASC master tech, okay, cool, let me see your status letter, right? He couldn't provide a status letter. He didn't have a login. That guy didn't have ASCs. But at that point, he's like, hey, bro, well, you screwed yourself over because you're only taking half the class. So now you got to take the other half because you lied to me and you lied to yourself, right? So, that's what ends up happening. Interested in the battery test using a scope. I want to know more about this topic. I rely on the Medtronics. Okay. Yeah, Baja. I think I have a video on YouTube doing that. And speaking of Medtronics, you're going to hear me talk shit about Medtronics during that video and then during my A6 boot camp. I think I share how to do that test with the scope on both of those videos. And we talk shit about the Medtronics. Nothing against Medtronics. I'm just simply saying that it's a lot better to test dynamically, which is using the engine, starter, and everything in the normal config versus using an actual battery tester. All right, guys. Well, it's been 45 minutes. I really appreciate you guys being on here. You guys are, again, you guys are awesome, dude. I can't really, stop saying thank you to you guys, because if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have the support we have on the channel. So just to let you guys know before I roll out, I want to become a master tech. I don't do transmissions and differentials. Not really. For transmissions, I'm going to tell you to read James Halderman's automotive transmission book. Freaking awesome. James is a great guy. I've got to hang out with him a few times, and you talk to him, and he's amazing. He's a great individual. I chat with him all the time on Facebook. So James Halderman, A2 book is going to be your best bet. The mechanical book, the manual transmission test is basic, simple. You'll have no problem. Wilbur, hey brother, wanted to thank you for your AC content. You helped me get A6L1. Hell yeah, bro! Congratulations, man. That's what's up. I'm glad, bro, that I was able to be part of that. It was all you. All I did was just give you a little bit of knowledge. You're the one that put it to use, and you passed those tests, bro. Congratulations. Make sure you don't stop. Get Master Tech, and then just keep going from there, brother. Right now, I hold 18 of them. It's not to brag, but it's just for me to kind of. So the way it works is we usually do ASC testing here at the school. So my students take a class, they take ASCs, and I take an ASC with them. So this way, if I fail and they pass, I can tell them I failed. If I pass, it goes both ways. So I also join in on those challenges with my students. So that's why I have those ASCs. Use analog compression test versus the pressure. More information is better. Yeah, so using the battery test, it is kind of like doing your oscilloscope battery sounds like an analog compression test versus a. So not really, because on my oscilloscope, I'm going to see my baseline, which is what's my state of charge on the battery. When I go to start the car, voltage drops from my inrush voltage. Inrush voltage on a scope should be 8.5 volts. If it's below 8.5 volts, then the battery is weak, needs to be replaced. After that, we're going to see the compression humps from the engine. Then after that, I'm going to see the excitation circuit of the alternator, checking the alternator to actually get excited. And then we see voltage come up for the alternator to start. So I'm testing the system the way it is versus using an actual tester. So it's actually a lot better to test that way. It's like testing. So the best way that I can explain the test I'm doing is I'm doing a current test on a circuit versus using a Medtronics tester is like checking resistance on a circuit, right? If you guys take an electrical class with me, I don't show you resistance check testing because it's worthless. It's pointless. The only time you should always be using current, because current is going to help you guys pinpoint what's wrong with the circuit, right? If you guys understand Ohm's law, if resistance dropped, current goes up, and if current goes down, resistance went up. So you're going to see the differences there, and that's how you're able to pinpoint an electrical fault within a circuit. So that's why for me, the oscilloscope battery test is probably the way to go. Great stream. Colonel, we'll see you there, buddy. I appreciate that, man. I got that other 6 as well, but unfortunately you didn't have the content. 6, it doesn't mean I wasn't looking at. Don't worry, bro. We're working on most of them. I'll get those up there for you guys. Like I said, when I make a video on it, it's because I taught a class on it or I took the test on it. So when I take the test, I come home, take notes, and then I put a class together based off of what I saw on the test. That's how I know it's going to actually help you guys. Well, we're mastering L1. Yes, sir. And how do I sign up for the class tomorrow? It's just a live. So the class tomorrow, I don't have the link handy. Manny, do you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or anything like that? If you follow us on Instagram, go to the link in the profile, and it's right there. That's where you can actually check it out. Limited content prevented me from making a good analogy. Using the scope, I can witness the changes in real time. Battery test is logic, pass or fail. Love me some raw data. Yeah, it's again, it kind of goes. It's up to the person. What I've done at the shop, if we've tested batteries with a battery tester that passed, and then we run it on the scope and it fails. Also, if you have a pico scope, your pico scope will do an internal impedance test and all that other stuff. So you get this giant list of all the tests that it actually ran on the system. So you could do. There's other different things you can actually run. Yes, sir. So I wasn't able to make it due to a family issue, but I'm planning on being there next year. I'm going to be submitting some classes to Vision also, and then I'll be in Apex this year. So if you guys are around there, definitely love to see you guys. He also question, I have a smog inspector license. Do I need to do the update training ever like to pay or just keep doing online? So if you have only inspector, Ramon, you're only going to be doing online, the 4-hour training, and then that's all you're going to need. You don't have to come into class. Oh, yeah, H-Scope user, if you don't mind, if you could drop that in the comments. H-Scope user is going to drop the link in the comments. I don't have it with me, or if I do have it, but then I have to exit to actually put it up. So can't put it up there for you guys. Sorry. Nestor, I'm not sure if I'm going to make ASTA. I have another event in Texas that's in the works, so not sure. Also, too, August 9th and 10th, I'll be in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. The 9th, I'll be teaching a 4-hour Spanish drivability class, and then Saturday the 10th will be a full-day English drivability class. So if you guys are in the Texas area or know somebody in Dallas, Fort Worth, please let us know, and hopefully I can help you guys out with the class there. So again, guys, I appreciate it. It's we're about 52 minutes in. I appreciate you guys being on here. You guys are awesome. Again, if you guys follow me on social media, Instagram or Facebook, I made a post of the upcoming class, and I can definitely help you guys out with that. Nice. For leak detection, I actually use the 95.5, so it's a 95 nitrogen with 5% hydrogen mix, and because that was way cheaper than buying like the Bullseye CO2 tester, and it works freaking amazing. So Baja, I'll be in Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth, August 9th and 10th. The 9th, I'll be doing a Spanish class. The 10th, I'll be doing a English drivability. Same reason, family issue. So I will, and that's actually who I'm going to go be training for. And 9th and 10th, I'll be training for the Dallas, the Texas two-step. So if you guys follow Texas two-step training on Facebook, that's who I'm going to be training with August 9th and 10th. So make sure you guys, also Mike Cleary, a good friend of mine, is going to be teaching diesel 6.7 tips and tricks. So that's going to be out there also. So if you guys are in the Texas area, make sure you guys reach out to us for the Texas two-step, August 9th and 10th. 9th, we haven't set a actual location yet. It might be at Firm Automotive. On the 10th, it's going to be at the Star Texas Golf Course, where we're going to be doing the event. It's going to be an all-day event. So if I get to see you guys there, I'd love to see you guys. It's going to be freaking awesome. We're going to have a blast, learn some cool stuff. And then depending on who the sponsor might be, is we might be giving out some cool shit also. Hey, do you do test taking tip classes? I've always struggled with ASC. Ramon, yeah, check out my ASC A6 and A8 and L1 boot camps on YouTube. Those are all videos that I did with my classes here. Because if you take A6, A, or L1 with me, in person, a requirement for that class is you got to take the ASE test. You pass it, then I write you a check for the test. So I make sure that I help you guys as best I can with that. Yeah, man, drive on up. We'll see you there. I'll be out there again, 9th and 10th. I was out in Houston March. No, February. I don't remember. February, and then March I was out in Denton. So I'm all over the place. And if I can definitely help you guys out, man, I'd love to see you guys there and see what I could do for you guys. So it's about 9 o'clock here in Southern California. It's hot as shit. So I'm gonna head inside now, and I really appreciate you guys being on here. You guys are awesome. So let me know if you guys have any questions or anything I can help you guys with. I'll be more than happy to help you guys out. Right. And then Ramon Baja also does some ASC stuff. So if you want to check his stuff out. And then you're into molecular, Ramon. So whenever you have a chance, man, come on down here to the campus. Come down. We're in Rancho Cucamonga. So we're about 45 minutes west of you. So whenever you're in the area, man, just stop on by, say hello, check us out, and see how we can help you guys out with anything we can. All right. Wonderful, gentlemen. So appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. For those of you guys that signed up for the wiring diagram class tomorrow, I'll see you guys on there tomorrow. I got to get going, so this way I can get studied up and ready for tomorrow. See you guys. You guys are awesome. See you guys on the next one. Yeah, what's up?